There is a lie that kills more businesses than bad products, bad marketing, or bad employees combined. The lie is called profit. You can look at your profit and loss statement and see a healthy bottom line. You can pay taxes on that profit. You can celebrate that profit, but you can also go bankrupt with that profit. In fact, fast growing companies often go bankrupt precisely because they are profitable on paper, but empty in the bank. They run out of oxygen while climbing the mountain. Today, we are going to expose the dangerous difference between accounting success and financial survival. We are going to talk about the cash gap, the invisible time bomb ticking inside your operations. Profit is an opinion. Cash is a fact. And if you don't learn to respect the difference, the market will teach you a lesson you can't afford. This is Business Explained Official, the illusion of wealth. Let's start with the most dangerous illusion in business. When your accountant hands you a profit and loss statement at the end of the month, they are handing you a history book, not a bank statement. They are showing you what you earned, not what you have. In the world of accrual accounting, you record a sale the moment you send an invoice. On paper, you just made $50,000. Your revenue spikes, your ego swells. You might even start calculating your year-end bonus based on that number. But where is the actual money? It is not in your vault. It is sitting in your client's bank account. And it might stay there for 30, 60, or even 90 days. You have effectively become a bank for your customers. You are lending them your product for free. Meanwhile, the world does not wait for your invoices to clear. Your employees need their paycheck this Friday, not in 90 days. Even worse, the taxman wants his cut of that profit before the cash even hits your account. Your landlord, your server costs, and your suppliers all demand immediate liquidity. This creates a terrifying disconnect known as insolvency. You are technically rich on the spreadsheet, but you are effectively bankrupt at the ATM. This is the silent killer of the successful founder. They walk around with $1 million valuation, yet they wake up at 3 a.m. terrified because they can't cover a $5,000 expense. They have confused sales with fuel. A sale is just a promise on a piece of paper. Cash is the oxygen that keeps the heart beating. Until the money hits the wire, you haven't made a profit. You have merely acquired a liability, the growth trap. There is a counterintuitive law in business that most first-time founders fail to grasp. Growth does not generate cash, growth consumes it. We are taught that if we just sell more, we will have more money. But let's look at the actual mechanics of scaling. To double your sales next month, you must double your inventory, hire more support staff, and increase your ad spend today. You have to pay for the growth before the growth pays you back. If you have a 60-day gap between paying your suppliers and getting paid by your customers, every new sale digs you deeper into a financial hole. This is what we call the cash conversion cycle. In a stable, boring business, this cycle is manageable. But in a high-growth business, it becomes a mathematical death spiral. Imagine getting a massive order from a major retailer like Walmart or Amazon. It looks like the best day of your life. But to fulfill that order, you need to drain your entire savings account to manufacture the goods. You ship them, and then you wait, and wait. Meanwhile, payroll is due next week. The faster you grow, the wider this gap becomes. You are effectively financing your customer's business with your own survival money. You are lending them capital at 0% interest while you starve. This is why companies with exploding revenue often collapse suddenly. They are like a car accelerating so fast that it burns through all its fuel before reaching the next gas station. They didn't die from a lack of demand. They didn't die because the product was bad. They died from success. The war chest. So, how do you stop the bleeding? How do you inoculate your business against the cash flow virus? You have to build a war chest. Most financial advisors will tell you to reinvest your profits into growth. They tell you to put your money to work. In the early stages of a business, this is terrible advice. It is a gamble that assumes the sun will always shine. Before you hire that next employee and before you launch that new product line, you have a more important obligation: survival. You need to calculate your burn rate. This is the exact amount of cash your business consumes in a single month to keep the lights on. Rent, salaries, software, insurance, assuming you make zero sales. Once you have that number, multiply it by 6. This is your target. This is your war chest. If your burn rate is $20,000 a month, you are not allowed to call yourself stable until you have $120,000 sitting in a boring, low-interest savings account that you never touch. This money is not for growth. It is not for bonuses. It is insurance against chaos. When you have 6 months of cash in the bank, your psychology changes. You stop making desperate decisions. You stop accepting bad clients just because you need their deposit to make payroll. You stop lowering your prices out of fear. A founder with a war chest can negotiate from a position of power. A founder living month to month negotiates from a position of weakness. The market can smell desperation. If you need the deal, you will lose the deal. But if you can walk away because you have 6 months of runway in the vault, you become dangerous. You become sovereign. Growth is exciting, but liquidity is oxygen. Don't try to run a marathon while holding your breath. The silent killer. Now that we have secured the perimeter with a war chest, we need to look inside the walls for the silent killer. It's hiding in plain sight, usually sitting on a shelf in a warehouse or lurking in your software development backlog. It is called inventory. Many founders look at a warehouse full of products and see assets. They see potential sales. But a seasoned CFO looks at that same warehouse and sees a graveyard of cash. Every dollar you spend on a product that sits on a shelf is a dollar that cannot fight for you. It cannot pay rent, it cannot pay salaries, and it cannot be used for marketing. It is frozen. And inventory has a nasty habit of decaying. If you are in the technology business, your inventory might be code that you spent 6 months writing, but haven't released yet. By the time you launch, the market might have moved on. That isn't an asset, it's a sunk cost. If you sell physical goods, you face the risk of obsolescence. Fashion changes. Trends die. Food expires. That pile of boxes you think is worth $100,000 might actually be worth 0 if nobody wants it next month. This brings us to the concept of just-in-time. The most cash-efficient businesses in the world, like Toyota or Dell, refuse to hold massive amounts of inventory. They design their systems to build the product after the customer has ordered it, or mere hours before. Why? Because they understand the time value of money. If you are holding 6 months' worth of inventory, you are essentially running a storage business, not a sales business. And storage businesses pay the highest holding costs in the world. You must audit your shelves. If something hasn't moved in 90 days, it is not an asset. It is a parasite eating your rent and your focus. Get rid of it. Turn it back into cash, even if you have to sell it at a loss. Cash in the bank is always better than dust on a shelf. The infinite cash glitch. There is a level of cash flow mastery that goes beyond just surviving. It is a strategy used by the biggest companies in the world to grow without borrowing a single dollar from a bank. It is called the negative cash conversion cycle. The word negative sounds bad, but in this specific context, it is the holy grail of business physics. Remember the growth trap we talked about? Where you buy inventory, sell it, and wait 60 days to get paid? That is a positive cycle and it drains you. A negative cycle flips the equation. You get paid today, but you don't pay your suppliers or deliver the value until later. Look at Amazon. When you buy a toaster on Amazon, they take your money instantly. The cash hits their account in seconds. But Amazon doesn't pay the supplier of that toaster for 60 or sometimes 90 days. For 3 whole months, Amazon gets to hold your money and the supplier's money. They can put that cash in the bank, earn interest on it, or use it to build more warehouses. This is called the float. Insurance companies operate the same way. You pay premiums every month, but they might not have to pay out a claim for 10 years. They are investing your money in the meantime. So, how do you apply this? You stop billing in arrears. You stop doing the work first and begging for payment later. If you are a service business, move to retainers or upfront deposits. If you sell products, look at pre-orders. Make the customer fund the production run. When you achieve a negative cash cycle, growth becomes free. You don't need investors. You don't need loans. Your customers are financing your empire and they are thanking you for the privilege. The new scorecard. It is time to change how you keep score. For too long, the business world has been obsessed with top-line growth. We celebrate the founders who raise millions, hire hundreds, and burn through cash like it's endless paper. But looking at revenue to judge a business is like looking at the speedometer to judge a car's engine. It tells you how fast you are going, but it doesn't tell you if you are about to explode. Real wealth is not found in the noise of the P&L statement. It is found in the quiet discipline of the balance sheet. From today, I want you to stop acting like an employee who gets a salary and start thinking like a capital allocator. Your job is not just to do work. Your job is to move capital from low-yield activities to high-yield activities while ensuring you never run out of oxygen. Build your war chest. Obsess over your cash conversion cycle. And never, ever confuse the promise of profit with the reality of cash. The businesses that survive for decades are not the ones that took the biggest risks. They are the ones that respected the math. Profit is vanity. Revenue is ego. Cash is sanity. Go check your bank account. That is the only score that matters. This is Business Explained Official. Thanks for watching.